Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to the DPO Diary Series. It is brought to you by the DPO Africa Network, and here we are going to plug into real stories shaping Africa's digital future. I am Laura, your host for today. As you all know, digital transformation is quick racing ahead, and we cannot be left behind. The role of data protection officers is also evolving because we have to meet up, with how fast transformation is moving. And so it is no longer just about compliance boxes. This is about building trust and resilience. And this space is for guardians of privacy. We are going to be navigating policy puzzles, startup chaos and data breaches. And so, if you've ever wondered what data protection is about in Africa, you are in the right place. And our guest for today is none other than Innocent Chingarande. And he is going to be telling us what he does, as a private legal expert, and also his role with us here at the network. But before he comes on, I would like to give a short intro. His name is Innocent Chingarande, pardon me, and he is a distinguished, well rounded legal expert with over a decade and a half worth of experience. He is driven by his passion for privacy and data protection. And this has moved him to find um oh, I'm sorry. I think I wanted to say something else, but Amaka is going to cut that part out. So I'll start again with the guest intro. So she's going to cut that part out. So today we have Innocent Chingarande. He's a distinguished and well-rounded legal expert with over a decade and a half worth of experience. He is driven by his passion for privacy and data protection and has gone ahead to be a founder and chairs the Privacy Association of Zimbabwe. So we are very happy to have you today, Innocent, and I know you have a lot to tell us about your work as a DPO and a legal expert in Zimbabwe. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're as excited as I am today, let us welcome Innocent. So, Innocent, you're welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Laura. How are you?
I'm great. It's a little cold at my end. How's it at your end?
We have just started summer, and luckily, people are not pouring buckets of water at each other, unlike what they're doing in some parts of Africa.
Interesting. So, so let us know you. Who are you, and what do you do?
All right, thank you so much, and it's nice to be here. So, my name is Innocent Chingarande. I'm a legal practitioner, and I'm also a certified data protection officer. So, I work full time as a legal practitioner as well as a data protection officer for many companies in the health sector, as well as in other sectors such as NGOs and other tech companies. So as a legal practitioner, my main focus, right, I'm mostly a litigator, and I also do a bit of some research and many other things. But these days, I'm more biased towards privacy and its various statutes.
I like
Yes.
that. Yeah, the first, DPO in the private sector, private healthcare sector, and that's interesting because that's an area that I know in places like America, it's a big deal when we talk about health data, and they have strong laws. So I'm sure you have a lot to tell us in that area. So, how many years have you been a DPO for?
So I got certified as a DPO in this part of the world. If you want to become a DPO, you have to be certified, a recognized DPO in Zimbabwe. You have to be certified by the regulator in conjunction with one of the local uh, colleges called Harare Institute of Technology. So I got certified, and I was in the inaugural class. That was last year in February. So as a DPO, since certification, it's been about one plus or minus plus 1 year uh, as a DPO. But we actually started working as a DPOs late last year. Why? Because despite the act or the statute, that is the Cyber and Data Protection Act, having been promulgated or coming into effect in 2021, the regulations only came into effect on the 12th of September last year. So that's when my job as a DPO actually started. So it's actually, yeah, almost exactly 1 year.
Nice. So we'll also be telling you happy anniversary soon. So
Thank-
you mentioned you were a litigator, and that was a bit surprising. So because from being a litigator to data privacy, what was the thing that inspired you to go into data protection?
so in 20, when the act came in 2021, one of my clients, it's an international, I would say it's an international organization in the context of international law, originally from Germany. So they approached me as one of their clients, uh, as one of my clients. They approached me and said that we've heard that there's now this new creature called the Cyber and Data Protection Act. Can you tell us what it is and how it affects us? So I then did an opinion on there for them on the cyber and data protection, and I was clear that we are yet to get the regulations so that it can be uh, implemented or it can come into proper effect. So after that, they then went on to say went on to request an opinion uh, on the comparison between the Cyber and Data Protection Act and the GDPR. So I was not even aware that there's this thing called GDPR, which was what already. And also, I didn't even care about the cyber and about privacy law. So it's something after that opinion, it's something that I, through my research, I then came to realize that it's quite a very, very big thing in Europe at that time and in a few other African countries, like South Africa. I think they just had the pop here also. So I said to myself, I would like to do and to venture into this. And the icing on the cherry was when people flew from Germany to come and have a discussion on this new thing. So I then actually realized that, oh, okay, you can actually take this as a career just to do privacy alone. So that's how I became involved in the issue in the area of privacy.
Okay, interesting, interesting. So far, what would you say has been the toughest case you've worked on, or policy? It could be a case, it could be a policy, but in your line of work. I mean, if you have any in the health sector, I would like to know because I'm really interested in that. But if you don't have any, then that's fine. But generally, what has been the toughest project you've worked on as a DPO?
Um, all right. So, what comes to mind is I've got a client. It's a medical switch company. So they provide a platform. Provide a platform where they link health funders and health service providers. So one of the toughest things was having to come up with an agreement, a data sharing agreement for the three or for the four parties involved. That is the uh, health funder, the switch platform, and the health provider, right? So, as you know, that health information or in the health sector, we deal with the most sensitive issue, that is your biometrics and your health data. So, the requirements that when a data controller is processing health or sensitive information, they have to have written consent of a data subject. That kind of like cracked my head because, we're not sure who. should obtain the consent until we solved it, and we came up with a very, very interesting interesting contract. So as you know as well that we're still starting in Zimbabwe on this area of privacy. Most of the agreements that we do are very, very, very novel, in the sense that it's not been done this side, yet we operate in a different environment than where the area of privacy have developed further. Like I can tell you of the GDPR. So I think I've had to rely more on the on HIPAA as far as certain scenarios are concerned, and also, yeah, so far so good. But uh, those are some of the challenges, that everything that you're doing is you are the pioneer in doing that. So we have. I'm happy to say that we'll be inviting the regulator. So our regulator, which is Potras, um, says that a data controller uh, can freely invite them for inspection and also just for an assessment. So we'll be having our first assessment in the next coming month. So that will be a very good test for us, in the sense that will they know that we are in the right direction, or we still have a long way to go.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting days ahead, I see. So with the, diversity of clients that you work with, what would you say is has been the most fulfilling part of your work?
Um, so the most fulfilling part of the work is you talk to people, uh, you go to a client and you sit down and talk to them about data protection, or whether you're conducting one of those things, maybe DPIA or something, or trying to come up with a privacy policy. You find that people or in the health sector, or anywhere, even in legal profession, we're already bound by, like for example, the client attorney privilege. So most health providers also have their traditional confidentiality mechanisms. So you find that people already know about privacy, but just putting the a new context to it, to say that, okay, if you don't comply with this, instead of if you don't comply with this piece of legislation, uh, and say there's this X or Y happens, it's no longer going to be about your profession, but there's now about the regulator who is coming into the picture as well. And people really appreciate it. And yeah, you just have a nice conversation because it's something that they already knew about. So that's very, very fulfilling as well. And having to come up with, like I said, to come up with new agreements that you would not have thought about, but just looking at a scenario and then coming up with something that people will say, oh, okay, this really works well.
Interesting. So now that you work with Germans, you work with the Zimbabweans, healthcare, tech, and all the other, do you think that there are some things that perhaps the regulations have not covered and you've noticed in your line of work that you think that, oh, these are some salient or very crucial aspects of data protection that you think the regulations have not, are not really addressing, or perhaps they did not even mention it at all. Have you ever come, across anything like that?
Yes, every day we do. Like I can give you a case. So, one of my private clients, an individual, a data subject, I think is the only client that I've got for, is the only client as a data subject that I've got. So they had their rights violated by a local mobile network, and then we filed a complaint to the with regulator in terms of the regulations, and then the case went very well, and we they found in our client's favor. But then the problem now is, how then do we enforce? Because unlike in other jurisdiction where they've got like a schedule of fines and pre-listed remedies, they our regulations or our act does not have the similar mechanism, that is to a way to enforce or to ensure that, okay, if there's this violation, how then do you redress the situation? They then said you should just approach the court um, for further litigation.
Mm,
uh, that's what they said. So that's a gap that we've got in our legislation, that you don't have preset remedies for those, for data subjects whose rights would have been violated. So this poses a big problem, in the sense that if you go to any other court, like say if you were to go um, to the magistrate court to try and sue based on that report, you are going to be approaching someone who has no idea what privacy is. And we have no recorded cases of damages being awarded for violations of privacy or unlawful processing of information. So what we've done is that I've instructed an advocate to try and come up with the pleadings, so that we don't run into the same pitfalls, because I wouldn't want to go deeper into the legal
yeah.
matrix, but so that we've got like a good pleadings to say that, which will be understood by the court if we were to file those.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's one challenge that I have, but I can mention more and more. But maybe just one more. The So you then find that in some cases, or in some countries, their laws on data protection is so clear and very specific. Ours is
Mhm.
not very clear, in the sense that what amounts to processing, or what are the exclusions, despite the fact that they are there. But it's very, very difficult to, uh, the way they've put it in the legislation. I think it's very, very difficult to implement some of the things. For example, for cross-border notification, there was an issue on WhatsApp, and about WhatsApp, and also about emails. Because if you want to do cross-border transfer, you have to notify the authorities. But before you do that, you have to do a data impact assessment. Uh, so it's just too broad, I think. That's one of the challenges that we do have.
Okay. Okay. It's good to know that data protection officers like you have been able to find the challenges, and hopefully something will be done about it soon. So let us come back to the network itself. So tell us, why did you join the DPO Africa network?
All right. Um, So I met up with Amaka after Amaka, the founding chair lady of the association, when she came for a private symposium in Zimbabwe. So we had very, very interesting conversations. And why I joined it is that it's something that is closer to home, in terms of you find that we've got IAPP, but in Africa, we rarely have something like that that is operational. So DPO presented an opportunity where we can engage and share our story as people from this continent. And also, we also engage with regulators in Africa. So it's a very, very good platform for any DPO who is practicing in Africa to be part of.
Yeah, I agree with you. And within the network, is there something you're working on that you want to share with us?
Currently, I have no projects that I'm working on. Uh, but what I've been doing is we have been trying to get as much people from other association. Like you've mentioned that I'm the chairperson of the Private Practitioners Association of Zimbabwe. So we've been trying to get as many people to be involved in DPO Africa, especially from the network, and also other students who are not yet qualified or certified as DPOs, so that they know that there's career in privacy. And should they want to be involved, there's this support system that they can get from DPO Africa. Because if you look at privacy and technology these days, it's almost like a moving target. So whatever you'd have learned at college, like maybe for the certification, what I learned in February last year and what is current today are totally different things. And also with coming up with the coming of AI, you see that you constantly need to have the conversation with the people who are already doing it and experts in the field. So DPO Africa provides that for many aspiring and many practicing DPOs.
Fantastic. So, what would be, your advice for other data protection office practitioners who are considering whether they want to join us or not? What would you tell them? What would your advice be for them?
I would, I can't say it enough. They should join because I mean, if you look at the courses, like I did the foundation course on data protection officer. Uh, it's very very useful because it's always a challenge when you come from college or from school that you might not have the experience, and theory and practice are totally different things.
Mm.
It's like you're starting to learn again. So for somebody who's just been appointed as a DPO of a company, and you come to DPO Africa and took part in some of these courses, in all these courses, you'll find value and you also be ahead in terms of how what you're doing and how to do it as a DPO.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. So, what's your go-to way to relax? After a long day of being a DP, what do you do for relaxation or for fun?
Do I even get that chance? Um, well, when I had the time, I'm a fine. I'm an artist. I actually do a lot of. I've sold a lot of pieces that I've done over the years.
Okay.
So when I'm inspired and I've got the energy and the time, that's where I engage in art. So I paint, I draw, and I like mostly to draw cityscapes and landscape and anything with reflections. I will share some of it. I'm sure you can see on my LinkedIn page that there's some piece of an art in the background. That one, I'm the one who did it.
That is it. I love that. I love that. So that's good. That's good. That's good. So, we've had a wonderful time with you on as a guest here today, Innocent, and I hope that you would continue to show your work like you do, and we'll continue to hear more about you and what you do in Zimbabwe. You're doing a lot there, and I love how diverse the work that you do is. And I know that for other people who are watching this interview and wondering, how they could connect with you or how they will keep up with you, if they wanted to connect with you, where do you think, you are most active and they can connect with you?
So I'm reachable on LinkedIn. I've got my LinkedIn page, and also uh, we've got a website, our website too, and our email. So you can always reach me via email.
Okay, fantastic. I'm sure they've taken note of that. So thank you very much, Innocent, for being our guest today. It was a good conversation that I've had with you. And I hope that, sometime in the future, we are going to get to talk about what you do again because I'm very, very interested and I like what you do. And so thank you for coming on the show today. We hope to see you another time.
Thank you so much, Laura, and it was wonderful to be taking part in this interview.
Our pleasure. Thank you. And so, thank you everyone for tuning in. We have come to the end of today's entry for the DPO Diary Series, and I hope you've learned a lot and you've jotted things down as well. So, be reminded that in Africa, data protection is not just for the regulators or for those in IT. It is a collective effort. And so all of us must join hands together to build our digital economy and, build trust as well. And so if you are a DPO or you're just curious or you are just interested, please join us. You can join our network at www.dpoafrica.net. You can connect with us, access our newsletters, and stay updated on upcoming webinars and our courses. Until next time, I'm Laura, your host, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.